Imagine a single tiny fig tree transforming into a lush, fruit-bearing tree in just 2 years. It's not a miracle, it's plant propagation. Picture this: a fragile stem, no bigger than your pinky finger, taken from a mature fig tree. Carefully nurtured, it takes root, grows, and within a span of 2 short years, it stands tall, its branches heavy with sweet, ripe figs. Now that's the magic of plant propagation. And the best part? You can do it too. Plant propagation might sound complex, but it's simply the process of creating new plants from existing ones. It's a bit like magic, really. One minute you're admiring a beautiful leaf or stem, and before you know it, you've got an entirely new plant on your hands. This isn't just a fun and rewarding hobby, but it's also a smart and sustainable way to grow your garden. Think about it. Instead of buying new plants every season, why not propagate your own? Not only will it save you a considerable amount of money over time, but it also allows you to expand your garden with your favorite plants. And let's not forget the sheer joy of watching a tiny cutting or seed transform into a flourishing plant. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or a green-thumbed newbie, plant propagation can turn your garden into a lush oasis. One of the simplest techniques of plant propagation is through cuttings. A method as old as gardening itself, propagation through cuttings involves taking a piece of a parent plant and encouraging it to develop into a new plant. This method is incredibly versatile, suitable for a wide variety of plants. Many houseplants, herbs, shrubs, and even some trees can be propagated this way. The key is understanding the type of plant you're working with and knowing the best time of year to take your cuttings. So how exactly do you propagate a plant from a cutting? It's simpler than you might think. You begin by selecting a healthy, mature plant. Look for a stem that's firm and green, not too woody but not too tender either. A stem about 4 to 6 inches long is ideal. Next, you make a clean cut just below a leaf node. That's where the leaf connects to the stem. This is where new roots will form. Then, you remove the lower leaves, leaving just the top 2 or 3. Once you've prepared your cutting, it's time to encourage root growth. Dip the cut end of your stem into a rooting hormone, which helps stimulate root development. Then, plant your cutting in a pot filled with a light, well-draining soil mix. Water your cutting, but be careful not to overwater, as this can lead to rot. Place the pot in a warm, brightly lit location, but out of direct sunlight to avoid scorching the plant. Patience is key here. It can take several weeks or even a couple of months for roots to form. But with consistent care, your cutting will eventually sprout roots and begin to grow. Remember, not all cuttings will take. It's a good idea to take several cuttings at once to increase your chances of success. With a little patience, you'll soon see new growth from your cuttings, a rewarding sight indeed. This is the magic of propagation by cuttings. You've taken a piece of a plant and given it a new life. You've become not just a gardener but a creator of life. Some plants practically do the propagation work for you. These are plants that can be propagated by division. Now you might be wondering, what exactly does propagation by division mean? Well, it's as simple as it sounds. Propagation by division involves separating a plant into 2 or more parts, each of which can grow into a new plant. It's a bit like breaking a chocolate bar into pieces and having each piece turn into its own bar. This method of propagation is particularly suitable for perennial plants, which are plants that live for more than 2 years. Some examples include hostas, daylilies, and iris. These plants naturally grow in such a way that they form several distinct sections, each with its own roots and shoots. To propagate these plants, you'd want to dig up the entire plant, making sure to get as much of the root system as possible. Then, using a sharp, clean tool, you can slice through the root mass to separate the plant into 2 or more parts. Each part should have a good amount of roots in at least one shoot. Once you've divided your plant, you can replant the divisions in suitable soil. It's important to give them plenty of water initially to help them establish. And just like that, you've got yourself some new plants. But here are a few tips to ensure successful propagation. First, be gentle when handling the plant divisions. The roots can be fragile and you don't want to damage them. Second, try to divide the plant on a cool, cloudy day to minimize stress to the plant. And finally, don't forget to keep the newly planted divisions well watered until they're fully established. Propagation by division has several benefits. For one, it's a quick and easy way to increase your plant collection. But more than that, it's also a great way to rejuvenate your older plants. Over time, perennial plants can become overcrowded, and dividing them helps to keep them healthy and vigorous. Dividing plants not only helps you grow more, but it also keeps your plants healthy and vigorous. There's something profoundly satisfying about growing a plant from a tiny seed. It's a process that's as old as time, yet each time it feels like a small miracle. Let's delve into the fascinating world of seed propagation. It begins with choosing viable seeds. When buying seeds, always check the packaging for the harvest date. The fresher the seeds, the higher the germination rate. You can also collect seeds from mature plants in your garden, but ensure they are fully ripe and dry before storing them. Once you have your seeds, it's time to sow them. The sowing process varies depending on the type of seed. Some seeds prefer direct sowing into the garden, while others do well when started indoors in seed trays or pots. Always research the specific needs of your chosen plant. For seeds started indoors, fill a tray or pot with a good quality seed compost. This is usually lighter and finer than regular compost, allowing the delicate seedlings to push through easily. Sow your seeds according to the packet instructions, usually at a depth of twice the seed's diameter. Then, cover lightly with compost and water gently. Next comes the waiting game. During this crucial germination stage, your seeds need warmth and moisture. Too much water, however, can lead to rotting, while too little can cause them to dry out. Striking the right balance is key. Once your seeds have sprouted into seedlings, they'll need light and nutrients to continue growing. At this point, it's vital to thin out any overcrowded seedlings to prevent competition for resources. As they grow, you may need to move them into larger pots to accommodate their growing roots. Finally, it's time to harden off your seedlings. This involves gradually introducing them to outdoor conditions over a week or two before planting them out in the garden. This step is important to prepare your plants for their new environment and to prevent shock. Growing plants from seeds may require a bit more patience, but the joy of seeing a tiny seedling sprout is absolutely worth it. In the end, you'll be rewarded with a garden full of plants that you've nurtured from the very beginning. It's a truly rewarding experience. Like any gardening endeavor, plant propagation can come with its own set of challenges. You might find that your cuttings wilt or your seeds just won't sprout. But fear not, as these problems are not insurmountable. One common pitfall is overwatering. It's natural to think that more water equals more growth, but in reality, too much moisture can lead to root rot. The solution here is simple. Stick to a watering schedule and always make sure your plants have good drainage. Another common challenge is inadequate light. Many beginners place their plants in a dark corner and hope for the best. But remember, plants need light for photosynthesis. If your plants are looking a little pale and stretched out, they might be reaching for the light. To remedy this, place your plants in a well-lit area, but avoid direct sunlight, which can be too intense. Next, we have the issue of impatience. Plant propagation is not a race, it's a marathon. Some plants take longer than others to root or sprout. So, if you're not seeing results immediately, don't despair. Keep providing your plants with the right conditions, and they will eventually grow. Finally, there's the problem of neglect. Plants need consistent care. If you forget to water or move your plants around too much, they can become stressed and fail to thrive. The solution is to set a routine and stick to it. Remember, every gardener faces setbacks, but with knowledge and persistence, you can propagate plants successfully. Plant propagation is truly a gardener's superpower. It's the magic that lets us multiply our favorite plants, bringing more beauty into our lives and the world around us. Throughout this journey, we've explored diverse techniques, each with its unique charm. From the simplicity of cuttings, the marvel of division, to the wonder of seeds, we've unlocked the secrets of nature's own multiplication methods. Remember, plant propagation is not just a science, it's an art. A rewarding pursuit that nurtures patience, perseverance, and the joy of witnessing life take root and grow. It's a wonderful way to expand your garden, save money, and share the plants you love with others. As you embark on your propagation journey, don't be afraid of mistakes. They're stepping stones to success. Let your curiosity lead you, experiment, learn, and most importantly, have fun. Unleash your gardening superpower and watch your garden flourish. Happy propagating!